Hi, everyone. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. There are a lot of financial podcasts out there. This one is different, and if you listen to this, you may just relate to it. You don't need another person discussing whether the Fed will raise rates next month or not. How much money has that made you so far? I know exactly what you're thinking and going through because I did so myself. Let me start by saying that this is not for you if you regularly put money into the market since you're in your 20s, never took it out, and kept averaging in. Congrats to you, that is the way to do it. The market can be tough, but you made it easy. The only problem is that statistically speaking, there's a 96% chance that is not you. You are more likely someone that is behind on your retirement, just got whacked on the progress you made, or have tried day trading for income and feel it's a scam. Maybe you feel the market is rigged. My name is Paul Lang. I never worked in the financial world. I like to day trade and to invest long-term. Everyone needs to invest long-term. Day trading can be your main source of income, or you can start off by just making some extra money if you have a couple mornings free every week. It's not hard to learn, but the path is filled with everything from wrong turns to all-out scams. In a sense, the news you listen to every day is a scam, at least in their effort to convince you why something actually happened. But for many who have tried, they meet with limited success. That usually means total failure. They usually have read a lot of articles and listened to a lot of money shows, and maybe went on the internet and got training on making money or maybe on using technical analysis. They've had some winning trades, but if they are honest, they know they are not making progress. They fool themselves by being bullish in a bullish market and making some money, but the truth always comes out, and if you don't know what you're doing, you will lose over time. In 2002, 97% of all the E-Trade accounts were broke. These were all the expert traders that began trading during the late 90s. If you bought the market in 1999, it took you 17 years to get your money back. How does that sound to you today? Well, that won't happen again, right? Well, take a look at the chart that I posted on the podcast homepage. Remember the collapse of 2008? The huge, dramatic, one of the worst things in history? You can barely see that on the chart anymore. That's the levels we are at. I'm not a perma bull. I'm not a perma bear. I'm also not an idiot. I read the charts and understand where prices are going. If you clicked on this podcast, you have some interest in investing for your future or day trading for some income. You may very well not like me. I tell things like they are. I enjoy what I do and will quasi-retire soon if I'm not already quasi-retired already. But you will get straight information from me. Most of what you learn on the internet is either completely wrong or useless. To the extent a few things are right, they are incomplete to make money. Getting a C+ understanding will have you losing money faster than if you had no understanding whatsoever. The first thing I want to do is introduce you to the DTS free stuff page. My site is called Disciplined Trading Strategies, and I have a page there that you can access right now that has more useful information about trading and investing than any site on the internet, even the big boys. It's a great start if you're going to start learning about some truths and also to get to know me. If you want me to be your mentor in the future someday, you need to get to know me. My podcasts are going to cover a variety of topics about making money for yourself. Did you know that 93% of all mutual funds don't beat the market? Did you know that making 4% in your savings doesn't make money in an 8% inflation world? I want to expose some of the biggest misconceptions about making money in the market and get you on the right path at the very least. I don't consider the teaching aspect of what I do a business. I enjoy it and have taught many successful traders. That includes market makers and fund managers. I get holiday emails from people telling me I've changed their life. You will see on the DTS site that I run a day trading room where I do my day trading. We only trade the opening hour or so for the most part. And I also have a long-term trader letter for people who like to invest longer term. I also teach those that want to learn how to trade for themselves. You can go find that stuff on the website if you like, but I don't care if you want to sign up or not. As a matter of fact, you can request to chat with me and I will look at your trades or your trading plan or whatever you want to talk about in the world of trading and investing. If you like what you're hearing, my email is paul@disciplinedtradingstrategies.com, Paul at my website. You can see that there on the podcast homepage. Visit the free stuff page. If you don't like it, don't come back. But bookmark the site because you may return in the future after chasing the Holy Grail for a year or two. Many people do that. If you do like it, subscribe to my next podcast. Here are a few comments that may catch your attention and will be topics of upcoming podcasts. By the way, for all of these comments, when I discuss them, I don't just give you my opinion. I like to think that I prove them as if I was in a court of law, and if you were on the other side, you would have to admit defeat. I also explain why it is difficult to believe some of these things. It is simply a matter of the way that they are presented to you in a way that seems to make sense at the time, but if you analyze it, it does not make sense. Here's the first one. Fundamentals are worthless to make you money. No, we don't use them in conjunction with technical analysis, and no, they are not confirming, and no, technical analysis is not confirming, and no, they're not how you form a watch list. They are just worthless. Now, before you tune out, understand that I'm not an idiot. Sure, stocks to make money tend to go up in price is a big general concept, but the market being the biggest forward-looking anticipator in the world, you'll never make money following fundamentals. That's the key. You will never make money following them. And keep this in mind for all of my comments. It's not that fundamentals are wrong. Well, sometimes they are. It's just that technical analysis, when understood correctly, is a synthesis of all fundamental concepts, earnings, recommendations. It is what the stock is doing, not what someone says it should be doing. My next podcast is going to be on fundamentals, and you will get a good understanding of what I mean when I say I will prove to you that it is a waste of time to look at them. In my trading career for a long time now, which is well over 20 years, the first 6 months, I was experimenting and looked at all kinds of different things and then learned what works. Since that opening 6 months, I have never looked up any kind of fundamental. I've never looked at any kind of earnings report. I've never listened to any analyst or any kind of recommendation. Somebody sent me one time a relatively famous person and his prediction of the market. I replied back to them, why do I care? There is nobody on planet Earth I would listen to regarding the market. It's there in the charts when you understand how to read them. Have you ever seen a stock release its best earnings in years then fall for 3 months? How does that happen? How is that possible? Well, it happens all the time. Some of these comments I'm saying, you probably have a couple different reactions to. You may be somebody who's saying, Paul, I know all this already, and I kind of look forward to hearing you talk more about it. Some of you may be saying, I'm an idiot, and you've already tuned out. A lot of you, though, are probably in that category where you're saying, you know, I've thought this before. I've wondered. I've tried to make money doing this, and it never works, but yet it seems it's what people do. You are the people I want to talk to, because the more you listen to me, the more you will understand how you are, in a sense, being fooled by a lot of what you hear every day. All the money shows on TV, the people talking are mostly talk show hosts. For the most part, they're clueless about anything. Some are good, and they do know what they're talking about, but they are restricted in what they can say. All financial shows are businesses and have an obligation to make money for their stockholders. They do that by having subscribers. The more subscribers, the better. Since 90% of the world are permabulls, no one wants to hear that the market is at a top. The shows are very good. They're actually experts at pretending they have good advice, but they do not. They have 6 different guests on that say 6 different things, and when one of them is right, a month later, he or she comes back, and that is all you hear about. You know this already because you've been listening, and you probably lost money listening to these people. Or you made money by correlation and not by causation. This is a big topic and something I talk a lot about. When you're learning to trade, there's a big difference between correlation and causation. Simply put, it means that if you went long in a rip-roaring bull market, you're going to make money whether the company had good fundamentals, good earnings reports, positive recommendations from Joe Armchair, or just because you like the color of their company logo. As a matter of fact, there's a good chance you made money even if they had bad fundamentals and a bad earnings report. But how does that work when you're not in a crazy bull market? My DTS long-term trader makes money every year and had a great year in 2022. By the way, that was the year the market crashed, because I learned long ago what to look at, and I will explain all this in upcoming podcasts. So welcome to my podcast. If you are looking forward to the upcoming shows, subscribe to my podcast. I have topics for likely over 100 episodes right now. I've been talking for a long time about trading and investing in the market. I've been doing this at DTS through various webinar events. On the podcast homepage, you'll find a list of the next most likely 5 topics. You'll also find a couple of links to the DTS Free Stuff page and to set up a time to talk with me about trading, investing, or related topics if you want to. So look forward to hearing from you next time, and I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, good trading, everybody.